Would you choose 1 month of probation on a misdemeanor or 40 years in prison on felonies? We know the answer to that, but when I was a tiny little public defender back in 1993, I got to watch my friend go to trial on a serious felony. This guy was offered a misdemeanor with 1 month of probation, and he's like, I am innocent. Innocent people don't take anything. I am going to trial. And he got 40 years in prison instead of the 1 month probation on a misdemeanor. Two lessons that I'm going to talk about. There's many more lessons here. The first lesson that I need to tell you folks that I learned that day too is please do not confuse your defense attorney's excellent negotiation skills to get you a great deal with the fact that you think you have a great case at trial and you will be found not guilty at trial. Otherwise, why would they offer you 1 month probation on a misdemeanor but for the fact that they think they have a crappy case? Do not equate the two. That gentleman who is now in prison 30 years later, who could have been off probation 30 years ago on a misdemeanor, made that mistake. He had a false sense of confidence that he could win his trial because his defense attorney was an excellent negotiator and got him a great deal. And he thought that meant the prosecutors couldn't prove their case. Wrong. They can prove their case. And folks, sometimes they can convict a grilled cheese sandwich. I'm telling you, 6 random people picked from the public here in Florida will convict a Cuban sandwich of doing some crap. I don't understand it. You may say, John, you know, you don't have any faith in the jury system. I do a little bit, but not total all-knowing knowledge. No, I don't think any one person has that. And I especially don't think getting 6 random people together makes that instinct any better, even though we've seen the game shows where you ask the audience, and sometimes you ask the audience and the audience is right. Sometimes you ask the audience and the audience is wrong, right? The second lesson that you need to learn, that I learned from situations like this, is that there is a trial penalty in the state of Florida. It sucks. It is like a deterrent for you innocent people out there from challenging the case and standing up for yourself, because the penalties are so harsh if you lose at trial. What I mean by the trial penalty is, here's the penalty if you enter a plea, and here's the penalty if the jury finds you guilty. And the penalty if the jury finds you guilty is out of control, and the penalty if you negotiate something is far less. That is the trial penalty. It should not be that way. There are a couple judges out there that don't have a trial penalty, but a lot of them do. And therefore, we're not seeing as many jury trials in some jurisdictions in Florida, because why would you? Why would you want to risk it? Look at that guy. He's still in prison 30 years later, right? 30 years later, that guy he really got over 40 years in prison, and he's still in prison when he could have been off probation 30 years ago. That is a trial penalty, folks, and it sucks. So those are 2 lessons that I learned very early in my defense career.